Alright guys, welcome to MMA on Wheels, and we are going to talk about UFC 308, which is happening tonight in a couple of hours in Abu Dhabi, if I'm not mistaken. Guys, UFC has given us an amazing event, amazing fights, so let's go through all of them, the prelims, the main event, the main card, and so on. Alright guys, I have my notebook as always, and I am on the parking lot in front of the gym, and there is something happening going right now. There is some sort of a stage, and yeah, food stands. I don't know what's going on. I see, is this Italian beer? Yeah, Italian beer and stuff like this, I guess. Not really sure what's going on. I don't like it. My usual parking spot has been blocked by those guys. Anyways, I'll stop complaining now. Let's go through the prelims and let's reach the main event. So, the first fight, it's really interesting. We have Rinat Fakhretdinov versus Carlos Eyal. They are similar in height, same reach, I believe, 188 centimeters or 180, something like this. Size-wise, extremely similar guys. Now the question is, this is Carlos Eyal's debut in the big league in UFC. He had 2 TKO wins in his last 2 fights. One was against Mena in the LFA, and one was against Breno in the UAE Fighting Championship, or whatever the name is. You know, not the highest level of opponents. Sorry guys, it is what it is. Prior to this, he lost, I believe, was it in August 2023, something like this. He lost in the PFL against Dibusi. Now, this was a high-level opponent. Dibusi is a really high-level opponent, and he lost to him. I believe Dibusi can fight in the UFC, and he can be successful there. So, yeah, no shame in losing to him. Meanwhile, Rinat Fakhretdinov, he has a win against Dalby. That was his last win. He submitted Kevin Lee. I don't know where he fits in, but I guess in a submission. And Kevin Lee's return to the UFC wasn't successful thanks to Rinat Fakhretdinov. He won against a really interesting fighter. This is Brian Battle. In my previous video, or I don't know, 2 videos ago or something, when we discussed the UFC Paris event, Brian Battle fought and won and destroyed the French fighter. And I told you guys, this is a future champion, and we have Rinat Fakhretdinov who actually defeated him. It was a decision win. Really good fight, and I believe something snapped in Brian Battle's mind after this fight, and yeah, you can see what's happening right now. He's destroying everyone. Anyways guys, Rinat Fakhretdinov is also possible future champion or top contender in the welterweight division. So I'm excited to see this fight, and he also has a win against Michailidis, just like Poatan. I believe that Rinat is going to win this fight, and he's going to utilize his combat sambo experience. He's training at ATT right now, I believe, and he's going to be using this advantages that he has over his opponent, and he's going to win this fight. It's either going to be a submission or a decision. I'm leaning towards a decision. That's a lot of talk about the first fight of the card, which is really nice. Then we go on to Ismail Nordiev versus Bruno Silva. This is Ismail's second time in the UFC. I believe he's the same age as me, and he's quite young. He has a lot of time to develop himself, and in his first run in the UFC, it was a 2-2 or something like this, 2 wins, 2 losses. 4 fights contract. They just didn't extend it. Fair enough. He went on to win a couple of fights, I believe, in Brave FC or something like this. He also has fights in, I think that's the Chechen MMA organization, Nakhmat. Not really sure if this is the correct name and country, but he is originally, I believe, from Chechnya. The Austrian Wonder Boy, right? That's really interesting nickname, a really interesting nickname. He has really cool kicks, guys. He has an interesting style, and I would definitely want to see him fight in the UFC. Even if he loses this one, I want to see him fight in the UFC. I see a lot of potential in this kid, and I sound like Dana White right now. Yeah. What about Bruno Silva? He has the KO power. He has the chin. Alex Pereira hit him with everything he had and he couldn't knock him out. Interesting thing though, he tested for steroids in August. I believe, I'm not really sure if he tested for steroids in August or the results came out in August, but he was banned from competing from retrospectively from April to the 1st of October. And we know it, guys. Everyone is taking stuff, so can't blame the guy. If you want to compete on this level, at this level, you just need to take steroids, you need to take peptides, you need to take everything you can get your hands on. And if you don't get caught, really, good job to you. He got caught. It happens. And this is a really tough fight to predict, guys. And why is it a really tough fight? Exactly because of Bruno Silva's toughness. Bruno Silva is so tough, he can take punches from Alex Pereira. That's a really tough guy. And we all remember what happened against Chris Weidman. Yeah, that wasn't a fun fight. But guys, shit happens. Fighters lose sometimes thanks to cheating from their opponents. It is what it is. My final prediction here would be Ismail Nurdiev via a decision. He's going to win a decision here. Can Bruno knock him out? Of course, Bruno can knock him out, but I think that Nurdiev is going to be using a bit of his wrestling. He used to train in wrestling before transitioning into MMA. So I think he's going to do this. It's going to be an interesting fight. But yeah, Nurdiev decision. That's my final prediction. Then we have Farid Basharat versus Victor Hugo. He's Victor Hugo, but I will always call him Victor Hugo. He has a win against Falcao. Farid Basharat has three decision wins, I believe, or something like this in the UFC in the last couple of fights. And I'm actually thinking that Farid Basharat is going to win a decision in this case, guys. A decision is a really clear way for him to win this fight. I believe this is what's going to happen. Then we move on to a really, really fun fight in the heavyweight division, guys. We have Kennedy Njechukwu. I hope I pronounced this right. Sorry, Kennedy. If you see this video and I didn't pronounce your name right, just leave me a comment and I will try to pronounce it right the next time. Versus one of my favorite heavyweights, Chris Barnett, who is returning to the UFC. Why is this fight so interesting, guys? First of all, Kennedy is huge, guys. Kennedy is close to 2 meters tall. He has the KO power and he's really tough. He's moving up to the heavyweight division. He had a couple of interesting fights in the light heavyweights, but I believe that the heavyweight division is his division. I believe that he's going to be successful in this division. Meanwhile, Chris Barnett, a lot of people are laughing at his physique because Chris Barnett is a little bit chubby. And he's a lot shorter than all of those guys in the heavyweight division and the light heavyweight division and the middleweight division and so on. And this doesn't matter for him. he does not respect gravity, guys. He will throw kicks, he will jump Superman punches, he will do everything he can, and he can knock out those big boys in the heavyweight division. In this case though, I'm going to go with Kennedy. I believe that Kennedy is going to be a huge problem for the heavyweights, and I think that he's going to knock out Chris Burnett. Maybe... Listen guys, in the first round Chris Burnett is going to be like a tough puzzle to solve for Kennedy, but in the second round he knocks him out. Alright, moving on. This is a fight I'm excited about, guys. Abus Magomedov and Bruno Ferrera. A couple of things. Something that I noticed. I think that was Bruno Ferrera. I'm not really sure. I might be speaking total nonsense right now, but I think it was Bruno Ferrera. I thought he had a little bit of gyno. Doesn't really matter. As I said, all of those guys are taking steroids. If you're not taking steroids at the highest level, it's your fault, it's your problem. I'm sorry. Why am I excited about this fight? This is a little bit of a personal story, guys. A little bit of a background about me. But I used to live in Düsseldorf in Germany for 7 years or something like this. And this is where Abus is fighting out of. This is his hometown right now. Guys, I am rooting for Abus, and I really want him to win in a spectacular fashion, guys. And you're gonna ask me why. It's not just because of Düsseldorf, guys. Abus has the ability to be at the top of this division. We saw him fight Sean Strickland. I believe it was a short notice, to be honest. And in the end, he lost that fight. He got tired. He didn't have the cardio. He was in the first couple of minutes, 5 minutes, in actually the whole first round, he was actually dominating. His kicks were really powerful. He had the extremely quick pace. He has the skills, guys. And in his last fight, he showed us that he can use both his striking and his wrestling, clinching, and so on. Bruno Ferrera, on the other hand, he has the KO power. Who did he KO? He KO'd Phil Hayes, and Dustin Stoltz was actually really good wins, to be honest. But in my case, in this case, in my opinion, Abus is going to be mixing up the striking and the wrestling and the clinching, and he's going to win a decision. It's not going to be a finish. This is going to be a decision win. But yeah, I'm going with Abus. Then we have Mateusz Rybecki, not really sure how his name is pronounced. I don't speak the Czech language. I'm sorry, guys. Versus Miktibek Holloway. Guys, Holloway just won this fight just based off of his name. He's going to win whichever way he sees fit. He wants to knock him out, TKO him, he will do that. He wants to wrestle him for 3 rounds, he will win. If he wants to submit him, he will also submit him. I'm going with Holloway. Dominant win. And then future prelim, Ibuaswan versus Rachel, keine Ahnung, Cerkelia. I'm gonna go with him with a TKO or a KO, one of those. He has like 8 TKOs in his MMA record. I'm gonna go with him, TKO first round. Whew, it's really, really hot right here, guys. Anyways, moving on to the main card. And we have a really interesting matchup. We have Shara Magomedov, Sharabutin Magomedov, versus Armen Petrosyan. We all know that Shara is the better striker. We actually saw him show off with his flashy kicks and so on against Nina Drama, whatever her name is. Shara is a really good striker, guys, and the way for him to win is if he defends the takedowns. If he defends the takedowns, he has the better striking, he's going to win. For a man Petrosyan, he's going to want to take him down, dominate him in the clinch, on the ground. This is his way of winning this fight. And guys, I'm going to go with Petrosyan. Something is telling me that he's going to win this fight in a dominant way. Really dominant way. It's going to be a decision for him. If, just in case Shara has the takedown defense, because we all know where Shara Magomedov is from, guys. He has to have those skills in his repertoire. If he wins, it's going to be because he's defending the takedowns. Then he can knock him out if he wishes. Alright, moving on. Leron Murphy versus Dan Ige. Leron Murphy, mostly decision wins, to be honest. I liked his fight against Edson Barbosa. And then we have Dan Ige, who lost to Diego Lopez in his last fight. It was like what, 3 or 4 days notice. And to be honest, this fight could have been a draw or split decision draw or something like this. Could have been a win for Dan Ige. We will never know. Maybe they will fight again in the future. Yeah, Dan Ige lost to Bryce Mitchell as well. Has a couple of wins, like a win against Landwehr with a decision and a KO of Damon Jackson. And in this case, I'm gonna go with Dan Ige. And I think that he's going to be really motivated. He wants to prove himself. And I think he's going to win via knockout. It's going to be the first KO of the main card. Okay, guys, a really interesting fight. Magomed Ankalaev versus Alexander Rakic. Guys, how good would it be if Rakic wins this fight and goes on to fight Poatan? All those tweets coming from Ali Abdelaziz and guys like him, it's going to be really fun to watch what those guys are going to say. Because if you're like me and you're in a couple of MMA groups on Facebook, for example, guys, or if you're reading the comments on the YouTube videos, you will see the trend that a lot of people are saying that Poatan is scared of Magomed and so on. Guys, Magomed Ankalaev was offered to fight Poatan a couple of times and he always refused, saying, "Hey, I want to fight in October in Abu Dhabi." You're not the champion. I am sorry, you're not the champion. You cannot decide where the champion is going to fight. This is a decision made by Dana, the UFC matchmakers, and so on, and marketing agents. It's not your decision to make. You can't really say, I am the #1 contender, I'm going to fight for the title there. It's not working like this, guys. I am sorry. So, Magomed Ankalaev, really, everyone is saying how good Magomed Ankalaev is, but guys, he really hasn't been that impressive lately. We saw this no contest fight against Johnny Walker. He then won this fight, he knocked him out. But guys, right now everyone is knocking Johnny Walker out. I am sorry, Johnny, but you need to do something. You need to find a way, maybe wrestle a little bit, go train with your brother in Russia, go train with DC, something like this. But yeah, people are catching him, people are knocking him out, and it's not really that impressive to knock out Johnny Walker right now. It's like knocking out Dominic Reyes in the last couple of fights, guys. It's not impressive. Prior to that, he had a draw against Jan Blachowicz, and Jan literally destroyed his legs. So, and he has a loss to one of my favorite fighters, Paul Craig. Meanwhile, Alexander Rakic, amazing striking, guys. And I really want to see him strike with Poatan. And just because I want to see him strike with Poatan, just because I believe that Magomed Ankalaev is just too cocky, I think that he's going to win this fight. Rakic is going to win this fight with a head kick knockout, just like he knocked out Jimmy Manuwa a couple of years ago. It's going to destroy the night for a lot of those Abu Dhabi guys who are bribing the judges and so on, because if this fight goes the distance, it's going to go to Magomed Ankalaev. Even if Rakic wins, it's gonna go to Magomed Ankalaev. You know it's going to be like this. It has always been like this, guys. But I believe that Rakic is going to win this fight. Rakic really is at this stage of his career where he can knock people out without any issues. And his kicks, guys, amazing kicks. He can start with low kicks, and then he can just surprise him and knock him out with a high kick. And it's going to be just that. Left leg, high kick. Magomed Ankalaev's ways to win, of course, he can wrestle, he can take you down, he can submit you if he wishes. But Magomed Ankalaev is in love with striking, and if he wants to win against Alexander Rakic, he needs to pressure him. He needs to fight actually in close range. And really interesting thing, guys, I believe that Magomed Ankalaev is a bit shorter than Rakic. So as a shorter fighter, close range is better for you. So this is his way of winning, clinching a little bit, make it dirty. But yeah, Rakic head kick KO. Last round. Okay, moving on. Oof, guys, I love this. I love this fight. I don't believe that Khamzat Chimaev deserves this fight, but I love the fight. Because we have the former champion, someone who went 10 rounds against the boogeyman of the middleweight division, Yoel Romero, versus the young wolf who had a couple of health issues and really needs to prove himself, and he really wants to deliver, and he really wants to show us that he is the same fighter who had back-to-back wins in like 2 days, not 2 days, 7 days. Anyways, guys, Robert Whittaker, Khamzat Chimaev. It's a really simple approach. Robert Whittaker just needs to survive the first 2 rounds. If he survives the first 2 rounds, he's going to win this fight. We all saw what happened against Kamaru Usman, and in this case, Robert Whittaker is like the middleweight version of Kamaru. Yeah, his wrestling might not be at the same level, but it's still extremely high level. Because, guys, I don't know if you know this, but interesting. Anyways, but Robert Whittaker is actually going on fighting, competing at wrestling tournaments and so on. He recently had sparring sessions with Opetaya. He is the cruiserweight champion in boxing. He's been fighting a lot of really tough guys, a lot of tough kickboxers, and he can wrestle, he can submit you, he can knock you out. I love his combinations. He a little bit reminds me of GSP. Because of his build, he has a lot of muscle, and at the same time he's really mobile. He can rush in, he can surprise you with a head kick. I really like his head kicks. And he has power, let's be honest, he's tough, he has power. Meanwhile, Khamzat Chimaev, guys, we saw how he knocked out Gerard Mieshat. He has the power. He couldn't knock out, for example, Gilbert Burns. It was a really, really close fight. You could give it to either of the guys. he actually showed us a really interesting thing right in this fight. Khamzat showed us that he has the heart to fight through adversity. He showed us that he has the resolve to go on even when he's about to lose, when he's about to get knocked out. So it's a really interesting fight. It's a 5-rounder. I don't believe that Khamzat is going to have the cardio with his health issues and with the tendencies he has shown us. He's going to dominate probably the first round. Second round is going to be a bit closer. Nonetheless, a lot really dangerous for Whittaker. But guys, if Robert Whittaker survives the first 2 rounds, he's going to win this fight. In my opinion though, he should never let a fight against a fighter like Khamzat Chimaev go the distance in Abu Dhabi or any Muslim country. We saw what happened with Dmitry Bivol and Beterbiev. It's gonna be the same thing, guys. If it goes the distance, it's gonna go to Khamzat, even if he lost 3 rounds to 2. Anyways, I'm gonna go with Robert, and I'm gonna give him a TKO win. I'm giving a lot of KO and TKO wins, guys. If okay, let's actually give them the benefit of the doubt, and let's say that Robert wins the decision if he doesn't win with a TKO. And the last fight, the main event, Ilia Topuria versus Max Holloway. Let's talk about those guys a little bit. Guys, really funny thing happened. My phone actually overheated. I need my sunglasses right now because, as you can see, it's extremely sunny here. Alright, so phone got overheated and the video, I actually stopped. Anyways guys, we are continuing with the main event. So Max Holloway, he has the fight IQ, he has the cardio, in my opinion, advantage that's there. He does have one of the best chins in the UFC right now, in MMA in general. And he showed us that he might really actually have the KO power at lightweight. This fight is actually going to be at featherweight for the championship though, so I'm not really sure if he's going to have this KO power. Ilia Topuria, for me, he has the speed advantage, he has the knockout power advantage, and something that not a lot of people actually talk about, Ilia Topuria has the octagon control advantage. He just knows how to move in the octagon, how to bait his opponents, and so on. So this is one of his best qualities, in my opinion. His fight IQ is actually extremely high as well, and something we don't really see Max attempt quite often, because he's just overwhelming people with strikes, is submitting people. And Ilia Topuria actually has a lot of submissions, guys. So, in my opinion, Max has the chin to survive the first couple of punches from Ilia Topuria. He definitely needs to avoid them, because if he takes too many of those punches, he's going to get knocked out. And for Max, he just needs to keep his distance, try to control the fight. Don't let Ilia control the pace, and don't let Ilia have the octagon control. This is the way Max wins this fight. And for Ilia just needs to do what he did against Volkanovski, to be honest. He has the knockout power, he has the submission threat. Ilia might actually take him down. But if we believe Ilia, he's going to point to the middle of the octagon, and he will want to actually have a boxing match with Max Holloway. It's actually a 50-50, guys. We have someone who defeated Volkanovski against someone who actually lost 3 times to Volkanovski, but 2 of those fights were actually extremely close. And Max has been destroying everyone else in this division. Ilia has actually been destroying everyone as well. He's 15-0. So this is really a 50-50 fight. Max is really young, guys. What, 33 maybe? 32? I'm not really sure. But he's extremely young, and the question here is the acoustic guy going to win, or is it the CTE guy going to win? And in my opinion, it's going to be the acoustic guy. I'm going to give this win to Ilia Topuria via knockout or submission, but it's going to be a finish, and I'm leaning towards the knockout. He's going to be the first one to knock out Max Holloway. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching this. I'm going to be ending this video right now. Like, comment, subscribe, you know the drill. And I'm gonna go to the gym, gonna do some weighted dips and dominate the weights. Anyways, I will skip boxing training today, but this is just because I have a couple of other things to do before the UFC starts. So I will try to find a new parking spot right now. I probably won't because of this stupid event. And yeah, see you guys next time. I might try to upload a video tomorrow discussing tonight's fights. I hope to, but you know, guys, sometimes life happens, sometimes you don't have the time. We will see. I'm not really being a serious YouTuber, so it is what it is. And a couple of other things, I might change the name of the channel, might also change the location. I will keep doing videos in my car, definitely, but I will probably be having a really nice spot where to do the videos soon. We will see about that. If you have any name suggestions, post them below. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. See ya.